Hello friends and welcome back to my channel for another episode of Summer of Stories, and happy August. This did go up later today because I had my kit share this morning for How to Kill a Kit with Style August 2019. So if you haven't watched that video yet, definitely check it out. It'll be in the playlist link down below for August, so you know what supplies I am working with and all of that stuff. Today I'm doing episode R of Summer of Stories, and this is actually a patron real-time process video over on my Patreon. So if you haven't checked me out over there yet, go give it a look. I have lots of different tiers and stuff, so if you guys are interested in getting more content, just head over there. So this is a little bit of a slower process video because I am doing a lot of talking during the actual video. But I am starting off by filling this one pocket square that's empty. So this is my first 12 by 12 pocket page in some time. I think working with the 6 by 8s in July really sparked that pocket page interest in me again, and I actually have a crap ton of pocket pages to use up. So I figured I'd revisit my DC album. Now I know when I made my August kit I said that I didn't know what I'd be working on. And that's true. I still don't know if I'm going to be working on DC album or just regular photos or my 6 by 8 travel album. But I have a lot of ideas, and I think that this kit, since it covers so many topics, I'll probably end up covering a lot this month, especially since we're finishing off Summer of Stories. This is the last month of Summer of Stories, and if you guys aren't caught up, I have a Summer of Stories playlist that I'll also have linked down below, which will have all the process videos. And if you guys also don't know, every Saturday I've been posting vlogs on my channel, so if you haven't caught up on those either, that'll be linked down below as well. Here I'm working on trying to embellish this card up here. So I cut that Heidi Swap paper down to 4 by 6. You can't really tell, but it's a like cream background with a yellow grid pattern, like a ledger paper on it. And I have this yellow ribbon out that was part of my kit, and I really want to use that because it helps bring out the gold of the frames and all the pictures. And if you guys didn't know, I used to live in Maryland and we used to go to Washington DC all the time, so I have a whole 12 by 12 album documenting those DC adventures, and this is one of them. And for episode R, I'm doing the word Rotunda, so that begins with an R, and this is inside the Capitol building, so this is inside the main dome part, which is called the Rotunda. And they have these beautiful, beautiful, massive, like they are absolutely incredibly large paintings of different historical events. And I believe they're all done by the same people, but I can't be 100% certain. I'll definitely have to look up more about that. But they're really cool, and I really, really enjoyed this part of the tour. And I've talked about this before, but if you ever go to DC, definitely visit the Capitol building. You can get a free tour and do some free things in there, and it was really, really epic to go in there. And I do apologize that I go off camera just a little bit. Working with a pocket page is hard for me because there is so much glare from my studio lights. If you guys have any tips on filming with studio lights and working on pocket pages, let me know in the comments down below. I'm always looking for new ideas. But since my desk is up against two walls, it's really hard to put the lights somewhere else that isn't right behind them there. So now that there is some cluster action happening, I'm using a lot of items. Most of these little stickers here are from One Canoe 2. I do have an epoxy round sticker there, which is from Pink Fresh Studio, and it says Conquer Today. And then I also pulled in another burnt orange color, which matches the label, and that says Important. Now, if you guys remember, or if you haven't been paying attention quite yet, my August focus this month is stamping. So I do stamp on this layout. Now, I will say, I originally wanted to make my title to be stamped out, but the alphabets that I have just really didn't fit the mood and feel of this card or of this entire page. So I decided to opt out of stamping the title and just do some accent stamping, which you'll see in a little bit. So here I pull out a Technique Tuesday stamp set that I absolutely adore. I'm so happy I picked this up. I did pick it up on sale, but it was still $8. And I think stamps can be so expensive sometimes, but if you just keep looking for deals, you're bound to find one that works within your budget. So if you're looking to get into stamping, you don't have to buy full price items. Wait for those coupons, wait for those sales. You'll find something that can fit within your budget. So here I stamp It All Begins, and again that's from the Technique Tuesday stamp set, and I stamped that with VersaFine black ink, my favorite black ink at the moment. I do want to try some other inks though, so if you have recommendations for what inks you love, please leave them in the comments down below. I think I want to buy some new ones to try out. I recently just placed an order to get more distress inks, so I'm hoping to use those this month as well. as I'm getting new colors in, because I got some colors that'll definitely work well with the color schemes of the kit that I made. So here I'm going down the cluster I just showed you. I like adding extra adhesive. I will say I added a little bit too much because later in the video I realized the back of the paper is rippling a little bit. But I find that with my fine line bottle, the adhesive comes out either too little or too much at once, because often it gets clogged because I leave it open while I'm still working on projects, which is a mistake there. I just didn't put the cap on. But when I'm filming, I often don't want to take the time to cap my adhesive, so that kind of happens a lot. But no tragic accidents yet. I still have the same one I started with, so that's good. Here I'm trying to figure out where I want to build my next cluster. Now this layout's very hard because the photos are so full. I know some of these might seem like obvious choices, like, oh, there's empty space in that bottom right corner, that top right corner. But a lot of things in these photos I wanted to keep visible, because I find that if I cut my photos down to just be the pictures, I'll miss a lot of stuff happening in these photos. So some of these photos in the bottom section, they'll have the descriptive podium for what the picture's of. They have people in them which showcase, you know, the time, the era. We're using headphones for these tours, so it's interesting to see that change over time. Like, will they always have headphones for these tours? Who knows? Probably not. But I thought it'd be interesting to keep some of those bits in here, so I went for the pocket page instead of a normal 12 by 12 or double page layout. So I did pull out this yellow tab. Now it does kind of match the yellows that I've pulled out in the top card. It does match the yellow in the background paper that I picked out as well. So it's just a yellow label from the Heidi Swapp Emerson collection. And here I'm pulling out some washi tape to pair with it. This is one of my go-to pocket page card embellishment clusters. It's a strip of washi tape, a label either from Ellie Studio, Pretty Little Studio, a sticker sheet like these ones from Heidi Swapp. Essentially, you put the washi tape down, you layer the label on top, but not covering all of the washi tape, and then you put an accent piece, so either an icon sticker, which you'll see me pull out. And another thing to add here that's a great idea is using staples if you like that texture on your layouts, or if you're using rubber charm as your accent piece. Staple could add a lot onto a page without adding a lot of bulk. Here I thought about adding another sticker, but it just felt too heavy. It was a navy color, so I knew I didn't want to incorporate a secondary dark contrast tone when I already had the deep black as my contrast. And I knew my title was probably going to be in black as well. So I didn't want to bring in the navy because it was just mixing in too many colors all at once. Here I debated doing a third cluster. Now, like I said, there are a lot of empty spaces on these pages, but the empty space is still meaningful to me, especially in these photos, because it is a historic landmark, and it's, you know, got all sorts of stuff in it to look at. Here I add a couple crosses or plus signs from the Goldenrod collection from One Canoe 2. I absolutely adore those stickers and I can't wait to keep using them. It's definitely something I've used in the past. I think I've used it in a couple kits before, maybe just one, but I'm really excited to use up more of that. So here I start debating with what to make my title out of. Like I said before, I have colored alphabets and I do try to use those first. So I did pull out some green ones. I looked at some orange ones, definitely didn't have the right orange in my collection. I also looked through here and there weren't any in the Jen Hadfield sticker book. She does not have alphabets. I know some of them do and I always get confused, but I do pull out one of these little, what are they called when you do silhouette? That's what it's called. So this silhouette is a text pattern and I pull it out. It's just a man. I figured this would be good to put because of the founding fathers and all these photos, the statues, and the sculptures all around this place. It just seemed a fitting thing, and I've never used one before, so that's another one ticked off the list. And I definitely want to start using more of those, and any chance I get, I'll hop on to using those stickers. Now I'm debating whether to use some of these pieces in my title. So there are some script stickers within the sticker book that say different words, and the yellow matches beautifully with the yellow that I've already pulled into this layout. So I'm thinking, one, I have to use these. They match perfectly. I want to use one. I end up deciding to go with the word hello, and you saw me debating there for quite a bit because I was talking my patrons through the different process that I go through for picking colors and words for layouts to make sure we have the right feel and vibe for this layout. So here I start writing out my title, and like I said, it's going to be Rotunda because that's where we were. But I do also have this sticker in my hand which says hello. So it's going to be Hello Rotunda, which, like, Not my favorite title I've ever made, but I also love the feeling of it, if that makes sense. Now, I kind of wish I had a gray that could match the gray stonework in the photos, but I just simply didn't have one that matched. They're very warm toned and cool toned, so it's hard to match something that has such a radiant different colors in it. So here's a poorly spaced title, but don't worry, I went back and fixed it after the video. But you can tell these black thickers really provide a lot of contrast, which I enjoy. There's a lot of darkness in the photos and the paintings within the photos, so it's nice to have that bit of contrast prevalent throughout the layout. Here I'm adding a couple of bronze stickers. Now I didn't really have a metallic on here, and this particular bronzy color does not match the frames at all, but I think it still complements the frames in that old rustic, like these are vintage frames, these are vintage paintings, they are hundreds of years old, I have no idea, but I don't know when they were all made, but I assume that's when they were made, or back when. But essentially I just lay all those out. The bronze kind of matches the gold and at least complements them and gives that same vibe and feeling. Now I am going to give some close-up views of all of the photos as well, just so you guys can see them. A lot of these you'll probably recognize from history books or, you know, documentaries you've seen. And this is sped up, so I apologize that they're not up here too long, but I also don't want to keep you too long. That first one was, I think, Washington's farewell address. This is the Declaration of Independence, famous painting. This one's one of the battles, and that's George Washington there. This one, I think, is the Battle of Bourgogne. I have no idea. But I really liked this one because it has the pillars in there. And then this one especially I love because it shows the panoramic of the building itself. And here I'm talking about how people are wearing headphones. You can kind of see the style of the time and all of that. But here is the close-up of the finished title card. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And like I've said before, you can check out my Patreon for a ton more content, but I'll still be posting 3 times a week here on my YouTube channel. And every time I post a process video this summer, I'm doing a free printable over on my blog associated with the letter I'm focusing on in that video. So head over to my blog and grab that free printable and check out everything else while you're there. I hope you guys enjoyed. These are side-loading pockets, which I thought was a little bit weird, right? Like, that's a little weird. But again, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!